Hey folks, welcome to the channel. I'm Dom. This is Rockin' the Country. Been at it for 7 years now. And I do non-pop country music reactions. Could be bluegrass, western, red dirt, folk, any of that. Just non-pop country. And in that vein, I've got a gift request of Don Williams' song, Old Coyote Town. And as Scott Powell made a gift to the channel for me to do this one, so Scott, shout out to you. Thank you, my friend, for this gift and request. And Don Williams, if you're new to country, you'll see he's the real, absolute real deal. His voice is so listenable. It's so welcoming, so endearing, so country. And I don't know this song, so it's a true reaction for me, which most of these songs are. All right, here we go. Oh, piano? It's probably going to be poignant.
He's got a U.S. flag on his front porch to remind everyone where he lives. And up in the attic, there are papers that prove the old house is finally his. After 35 years, the grass still don't grow in that rock-hard West Texas ground, where my old dad still clings to that old Coyote town. Like horses, the pickups are parked out in front of a cafe that don't need a name, where the old men rock as the tumbleweeds roll past the boarded up windows down Main. Waist high weeds hide a for sale sign at the drive-in where my innocence died, where a rusty advertisement dangling by nail says popcorn and Pepsi for a dime.
All right.
Down at the depot where I left for good, there's a hobo with his three-legged hound, waiting for a train that no longer comes to that old Coyote town. And the interstate rumbles like a river that runs to a rhythm that don't ever slow down, as cars and trucks and time pass by that old Coyote town.
Rural and urban life.
Daddy falls asleep in the living room on the sofa with the TV on. Sometimes he waits for a phone call from me, sometimes he waits too long. But I still think of the people and the place that he loves. How much longer will they be around? Till it's ashes to ashes, dust to dust for that old Coyote town. Like horses, the pickups are parked out in front of a cafe that don't need a name, where the old men rock as the tumbleweeds roll past the boarded up windows down Main. And the interstate rumbles like a river that runs to a rhythm that don't ever slow down, as cars and trucks and time pass by that old Coyote town. God bless that old Coyote town.
Yeah, that's just one of those songs of life. You know, no matter where, because we're going to die one day, and I've known this for decades, that so many of the constructs of life and ways in which we process what takes place while we're alive is set against the backdrop that we're going to die one day. Though we don't talk much about it, we don't acknowledge it, we don't really plug that into the equation. So when we're pointing out in a song like this, like, he finally paid off the house and he's got the papers in the attic that show that he owns the house after 35 years, and nothing will grow in the soil. And we could point to the things that don't work. The interstate comes through and now people just drive right by the town, and the hustle and bustle of life, the rhythm of the busy life doesn't change. The dad waits on the couch for a phone call that sometimes comes, but sometimes waits too long. The sadness of life. I think that is really, in one way, just a substitute for the fact that we're going to die one day. And so we pick out the things in life while we're alive that are hard or marginally hard without realizing that, hey, we're alive. And it's nothing necessarily to celebrate. I don't like this word celebrate too often. I mean, there are certain things to perhaps birthday parties for kids or what have you, 50th anniversary. Sure, have a celebration party, but most things in life just are kind of normal parts of life. And so we don't need to make them too wonderful, more wonderful than they are, or worse than they are. And in this case, the old Coyote town, there's a beauty to it. Depending on how you write something, depending on how you view something, the lens through which you view it, something could be either sad or it could be presented as this is wonderful. And that perspective is generally up to us individually. Owning a home, being alone, that's hard, for too long. I mean, some people can be alone well. I don't have an incredible difficulty. I'm a very socially oriented person, and I like being among people. I do, but I need my downtime. I don't struggle with my own private time. Some folks do, some don't. But a song could be written about this, about how he's got things just the way he's worked for his whole life, and even though the grass won't grow, he can still go to the local store and get his vegetables or whatever it may be. I mean, they call it spin, I guess, but it just depends. People perceive the world differently and uniquely. There's a place for the city, there's a place for the country. It can all work together, and I think it just has to do with how we interpret it. But Scott, you got me going on this. It's almost like a Montauk Ed type thing where I get very reflective about life. But that's even says it. This is what it looks like when a life coach analyzes country songs, because this was a story without being preachy, without really saying anything overly negative or positive. It just, here's this guy's life. But it was sung in a melancholy sort of way. But I'm like, well, the guy's got a kid who calls on him once in a while and all, so it depends on how you view it. But Don Williams can sing. It was orchestral. The instrumentation was orchestral. Really, anybody, if you like a ballad, no matter what genre of ballad you like, even if you like rock ballads, you could appreciate a song like this. And Don's voice is just so soothing. He just has the it factor when he sings a song. You just feel welcome. You want to go into his world when he sings the song. So I'm going to rate this one. And the number that popped into my head was an 8.9. So that's, I might be hearing from Montauk Ed or Jeff Cather on this one. So it's just like a running joke on the channel when I give an 8.9 and don't bump it up to a 9.0 to put it in the playlist of songs of 9 and above. If a number pops into my head, that's a number that I run with. So that's the deal. All right, Scott, thank you, my friend, for that request. And Don Williams. Have a great day. I'll see you on another video, and keep rocking the country.